So easily one of the coolest forms of filmmaking has got to be stop motion, right? I mean, stop motion animation is fantastic. It just the time, talent, skill to put a whole stop motion film together is just phenomenal. And the fact that, we don't get that many of them is awesome, because when we do get them, they're great, and so there's this new movie I ended up watching called Stop Motion, just literally, and it's more of a horror film, but definitely an awesome take on using stop motion and live action in this, in the same movie. It was very reminiscent of James and the Giant Peach, where the movie starts out in live action, and then when shit hits the fan, the whole movie is, live stop motion. It's fantastic. But apparently it's the director's first feature full-length film, and the other projects he's done have also kind of been in that stop motion realm. So honestly, just the fact that this is his first movie, fantastic, because we need more of this. We need less green screen, more practical effects, more drawn animation, instead of just everything being digital and CGI and wicked space battles. I mean, very reminiscent of back in the day when you had animatronics and people in suits and small models of things blown up or shrunken next to people to make it look crazy or real. I mean, we need more realism in movies, and this movie definitely really added some realism to just the creation, the whole process of stop motion, right? So the movie follows this girl Ella, whose mom is a stop motion animator, but she has arthritis, so she can't use her hands. So the daughter is kind of like not forced, but she decides to help her mom finish her last film. But the mom is super overbearing and just like super critical and just yells at the chick, and she's insane. Like, she's the worst, and she ends up like having a stroke from how uptight she gets, and she ends up falling into a coma and ends up passing away. So the daughter ends up wanting to finish her story for her in memory of her mom, of course. But the problem is she is like completely void of creativity somehow. Even though she is so good at this stop motion animation, she can't actually create a story to put around the animation for some reason. So she ends up giving up on, finishing her mom's story, because I guess the mom never left any notes on what the story was supposed to be about or how it was supposed to end. It was all like in her head, I guess. So she decides to make her own story with the help of this little girl that lives at her apartment. And it's just wild. Like, the story pretty much takes on a life of its own and starts like bleeding into reality. It's like very, it's a horror movie for sure, but I wasn't sure if it was trying to be a haunting movie or a possession movie, because definitely the little girl is some type of spirit demon and or repressed childhood manifestation of like her past, but they don't really explain a lot of it. But it's a visually striking movie to watch. And again, it takes so much time. It takes weeks to put minutes of a stop motion film together, months for scenes. So this girl is literally spending all this time alone by herself to make this film, and she's just slowly diving into madness, because when they show the stop motion scenes, yeah, it looks all cool and you're like, oh, it's so awesome, but you got to remember, she's like sitting there meticulously moving and taking the picture and moving and taking the picture over and over again by herself, like kind of like going mad. And this little girl is just kind of like hanging out with her for some reason. And as the movie progresses, she redoes the scenes over and over again, which again is taking more time, more weeks, more months. Who knows how long she's been in here without eating or without people around her, like any conversation. Like, she has a boyfriend, but she never really sees him. At a certain point, she just stops like hanging out with people, and it's just super sad to see her spiral like she does. But the way that the animation is shown, it's so beautiful, because that's what she's creating, but it's also killing her. And I think that's pretty much what I pulled from this movie, is that, never do something that if you love to do something and it's killing you, you don't have to do it. You could literally just not do it and do something else, learn a new skill, learn a new hobby, and you'll be fine, and it literally ends up, leading to her demise, her doing stop motion. And it's just wild. It was definitely a fun watch, visually awesome. Like, there's scenes where her skin is like becomes clay, and she's like peeling at her skin, or there's a scene where her face turns clay and she's like tearing off her face, and it's just a lot of crazy scenes here and there. And the climax of the movie is just awesome. Everything just hits the fan at the end, and she's adding flesh and like meat to like her little creatures or characters that she's making, and then she ends up adding like flesh to it later. It's just it gets pretty wild. But again, for this guy's first feature-length debut, it's pretty awesome. I definitely will have to check out some of his other short films and stuff, because I'm excited to see what he does next. Or like, again, I just hope more up and coming filmmakers look at this and decide to go the more practical route than the CGI green screen route, because we just need more creativity in the world, and you can do endless things with the green screen, yes, but you can do beautiful, great things with your hands and with actual tools and prosthetics and all that stuff. So hopefully, animatronics, hopefully we'll see how it goes, within the next couple of years. But this was an awesome movie and an awesome concept to, show people just of what to possibly look forward to. So if you're into horror movies, if you don't mind body disfigurement here or body figurement here and there, and that doesn't get you queasy, or you like freaky flicks, definitely would suggest stop motion. It's very awesome. It's definitely a bit of a slow burn, and like I said, a lot of questions, not that many answers, but visually it's pretty fun and striking to watch, and I think people will enjoy it or get a kick out of it. But thank you so much for tuning in. This has been Ghost and the Craig. Like, share, and subscribe, and I will catch you guys on the flip side. Peace.